Hey guys, good evening. This is Mandeep. It's Sunday, January the 10th. I'll, I'll do a quick video and show you, how some of the stocks that a lot of you guys follow have performed over the last 4 weeks using the ultimate trading signal. And so those of you who follow my video um, are kind of familiar with the template that I have, right? So uh, in this particular chart, I'm showing you what the buying selling pressure is. Here we are looking at the Ichimoku cloud on multiple time frames. Here we are looking at the MACD on multiple time frames. At the very bottom, I have a momentum histogram, right? And this histogram consists of an 8 period open and an 8 period close moving average, right? So whenever the histogram is positive, right? So 8 period closes are higher than the 8 open, which is obviously perceived as a positive, right? But what I've done is all of these studies and all the market conditions in terms of advanced decline line and issues that are declining or advancing are all actually incorporated into the strategy that I've developed over the last few years. And so a key thing that I added over the weekend was the ability to look at, how many trades occurred and what was the performance of all of these trades, right? Because one of the things you'll notice is that when people sell you indicators, they're mostly predicated on like one single technical indicator. What the ultimate trading signal or the strategy does, it looks at multiple indicators and it also looks at multiple time frames, right? And as many of you know, I'm a big proponent of time continuity, right? Where things have to be doing well on the higher time frames. So let's get into the details, and I'll show you how you could have profited um, by a ginormous amount if you had traded just using this one signal, and even if you did not understand technicals, etc. So the first thing we'll do is, as you see, it's a blank chart and a strategy. I'm going to look for the ultimate trading strategies. We're going to add that. So let's apply this study and hit OK on that. So the first thing you'll notice is it'll start giving you some information on the top bar, right? And this is the breadth of the market for Friday, and this is what the market thrust is. And so have this signal allows you to trade with the two strategies. You can be either aggressive or you can be a little bit more conservative, right? And you can select that. And so the next thing you'll see is either long, short, or no trade, right? So it's three possibilities. And if the trade is still currently under play, you will also see what is the profit in that trade, which is currently long. So as you can see, the last trade on Facebook was initiated around, the signal was initiated in this bar, and the buy actually happened on the following bar, and so it's actually calculating the profit from here all the way to where the last bar closed. Now, again, these are some of the stocks that many people follow, and in no particular order, but let's just take a look at each one of them in and how they have performed. So currently my setup is for a 30-minute chart, and this is for 20 days. So in other words, we can see the performance of these stocks over the last 1 month period, right? So the next thing we'll do is, once this paints, or for whatever reason, at night sometimes TOS becomes a little bit slow because of uh, updates, etc. that they're running. So here's the last bar where the buy was initiated, and the current profit on that trade is $79. It hasn't closed, right? So let's just look at what the overall performance was simply by clicking on show report, and these are all the trades. So you went long here, you closed here, you went short here, you closed here, etc. But we'll take a look at the report to see what was the performance. So this report is from 1214 to 1228, because there hasn't been another close since then. So as you can see, it's sell to open, and this is predicated on trading 100 shares. So it's sell to open, so you shorted 100 shares and you covered them on 1218, right? So you made a profit of 422, 78, um, 3,129, and this was a negative trade um, for a loss of 155. So the net profit is about 3,500. Plus, if you add the 7,900 that is currently in play, that's a little over $10,000 in profit just trading Netflix with 100 shares. Okay. Now again, you will see similar profit on most other time frames, but we will just focus on the 30-minute because tend to see some of the best results on 30-minute. Let's take a look at Tesla now. Again, this is the last buy that came, but let's again take a look at the report. So let's take a so again, this is roughly a month, 1213 to 111. So negative 326, positive 3296. As you can see, not every trade is a winning trade, but the trades where we win, the amount is significant, and the net profit on this is 3,246. Right? If you took the trades as and when the software initiated them, whether they were long or they were short. Let's take a look at Goldman Sachs. Again, show report. And so this is again 1213 to 111. And so there was a loss of 166 on this trade, a loss of 315. But overall, it was profitable by 2,500 in just 1 month, right? Using 100 shares. Let's take a look at the Qs, right? And we'll also take a look at SPY because that tells you, how it performed on the indices as well. So if we click on this, and again, same thing. So this was 4 out of 4 wins, 127 of 1400, 260, 682 for a net profit of 2,500. So let's take a look at SPY while we are looking at the indices, and then I'll scroll down the other stocks as well just to give you an idea. So again, let's just click on this. It says show report. 4 winning trades, net profit of $3,642. Right. So you can see each trade. What it did. In this case, obviously, it shorted the trade, and we can go back and even look at the trade. So here's the actual shot where it sold 100 shares and shorted 100 shares and covered it here. You bought here, sold here, you bought here, and you sold here. There's no current trade at this point in time. Let's look at BA. All right. So on BA, the last trade was initiated on Friday at 7:30, and this one's profitable by $31 here. Uh, so it wasn't, the Friday that just passed, but the one before that, and it hasn't closed since then. So if you look at the report again, so we had trades initiated on 1213 to 14 on this because that's the last time the trade was initiated, and you did have a loss here, obviously, visible here. Net profit of 1,000. Let's move on to Square. Um, okay, let's take a look at the profit here. Show report. And this one, 92 bucks, 82, $72 loss, 89 for a net profit of 828. Again, this one is from 1217 to 14. Right, let's take a look at box. You can click on any up arrow here or down arrow and click on show report. So again, you can see this is a combination of shorts as well as longs, right? So the last two positions were long and the first two were short. So this one has a profit of 457 on it. Again, roughly the same time period because this is looking at 30-minute, 20-day chart. Okay. So this is CRM. Again, this is one trade that's still in play with a profit of $11. But how did it perform over the four-week period, right? Again, 1, 2, 3, 4 profitable trades for a profit of 571. Let's move on to ServiceNow. So let's just, it's easier to click on this one, show report. So this one again, 1214 to 111, net profit of 4,000 in 1 month. using playing with just 100 shares. As I said, not every trade can be a winning trade, but most systems out there would produce no more than 40%, 50% winners, and you can see this one's more closer to 80, 90%. There's one loss in this. Let's look at NVIDIA. So let's look at the report on this one. So NVIDIA profit of 1600 in the first trade, which was a short, a loss of $100, loss of 138, and a profit of 733 for a net profit of $2,000. Moving on to win. And the only reason I want to show you this is because a lot of people will show you indicators, and but they'll show you on a set of stocks in which it worked. And I can show you this to work on any chart and any time frame as well. So if you're like, if you prefer playing the day, then we'll, similar results will be seen. Again, so I'm just not going to go through each trade, but just show you the profits, 2,700, same time period. Let's look at sharp, because one of the things I want to see is if we find any losing trades overall, right, where not only did we lose like individual trades, but we had a loss overall as well. Sharp profit of 2,800. Again, these are, I understand that the last 10 weeks had 10 days had one of the biggest rally, but some of the trades prior to that were shorts, right? So 2,800 in this one. Let's see. Let's show report. Profit of 1,500. One loss here. Autodesk. Autodesk again had one loss here, another loss here, but the net profit is 727. Let's look at Caterpillar. Clicking on show report again. This one had a profit of 242. So this had more losses, 1, 2, 3, and 4. But anyway, overall the trade was still profitable. You didn't end up losing any money on it at all. Let's look at Booking.com. So Booking.com produced some astounding results just in 1 month period, right? So 1213 to 110, it had a profit of 20,000. 5,000, 14,000, 462, a loss of 3,000, a gain of 1,100, another gain of 1,800. So there you go. We can keep going on, but I'll show you some interesting stuff, right? And the reason is I want to show you some other time frames as well. So let's take a look at Amazon here. So it had a profit of 48,000 just in 1 month period. But we can switch the time frame as well, right? We could go and take a look at the weekly chart and see if you just wanted to play really long term, what is the performance in this one. The show report has a profit of nearly 100,000. Three trades were initiated back from 2016 all the way to 2018, and you made a profit of 100,000 just using 100 shares. You can also take a look at how it performed over a monthly time period. So let's just take a look at the report, and it did 132,000 in profits, one losing trade for 346, and rest of them were winners. I'm going to skip a couple, but let's look at charts that are of interest to most people, things like Baba and Google, etc. And then we can wrap this up. Again, let's take a look at this report. So Baba had a profit of 1,300. Again, same time period, 1217 to 14. Let's just switch to, and we can keep going down. Maybe let's take a look at Google. Yeah. So on Google, we had a profit of 6,200. We had a loss of 28 bucks, a loss of 197, so two consecutive losing trades. Then we had 6,000 gain, 192, 1,200, 2,500, and a loss of $1,000 for a net gain of 6,203 on this trade, right? And again, as I said, you can apply this to any stock, any time frame, and we'll be able to see good profit. So this is really something useful for people who are new to technical trading and who don't want to deal with the complexities of indicators and support and resistance, because the algorithm is actually smart enough to account for all of that, including the current market condition. So it knows when the market is actually in a downward spiral or downward trend, and it'll initiate more short positions at that time. Clearly, there are certain stocks that move inverse to the market, right? So this again, the software calculates that, it knows the list of stocks that move inverse to the market and accounts for that. So that's all I wanted to cover today, and you guys have a wonderful night, and I hope you have a profitable trading week. Thank you.